66 million years ago, the Earth faced one of the most dramatic and pivotal moments in its history, a mass extinction event that wiped out 3/4 of all life and ended the reign of the dinosaurs. For over 160 million years, dinosaurs had thrived in a world filled with lush forests, vast deserts, and ancient seas. Their extinction was not a sudden, isolated incident, but rather the result of a chain reaction of catastrophic events that forever changed the course of life on our planet. The story begins with a world already in flux. In the late Cretaceous period, Earth's climate was shifting. Sea levels were fluctuating, and ecosystems were becoming more fragile. Volcanoes in what is now India, known as the Deccan Traps, had begun to erupt with unprecedented fury. These eruptions released floods of lava over thousands of square kilometers and belched vast quantities of toxic gases, carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. Into the atmosphere, the skies grew heavy with ash and aerosols, dimming sunlight and acidifying rain. Plants and animals faced the dual threats of a changing climate and poisoned environments. But for all the chaos these eruptions unleashed, the true tipping point was yet to come. Far above our planet, a 10 to 15-kilometer wide asteroid hurtled through space, its trajectory aligning with Earth's orbit in a collision course that would reshape history. This massive asteroid struck near what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, carving out the Chicxulub Crater, a wound in the Earth over 150 kilometers wide. The force of the impact unleashed energy equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs detonating simultaneously. In an instant, shock waves rippled through the crust, generating colossal earthquakes and tsunamis that washed across continents. The immediate aftermath was apocalyptic. The impact vaporized rock and sent a searing fireball of heat across the globe, igniting wildfires that scorched entire forests. A massive plume of dust, soot, and sulfur was ejected high into the atmosphere, forming a thick sun-blocking shroud that enveloped the planet. Days turned to night, and global temperatures plummeted in a phenomenon known as impact winter. Without sunlight, photosynthesis ground to a halt, plants withered and died, and food chains collapsed from the bottom up. For the dinosaurs, who had dominated the land for so long, the end came swiftly and mercilessly. The large, powerful creatures that once ruled every continent were ill-equipped to survive in a world plunged into darkness and cold. With their primary food sources gone, starvation and exposure followed. Some may have perished in the initial firestorms and tsunamis. Others endured a slow decline, as their habitats were destroyed and their populations dwindled. But while the asteroid impact was the defining blow, scientists now recognize that the Deccan Traps eruptions played a crucial supporting role. The volcanic gases had already weakened ecosystems by causing acid rain, altering climates, and acidifying oceans. These stresses left many species vulnerable and unable to cope with the additional shock of the impact. The combination of these two cataclysmic events, along with the ongoing environmental changes of the late Cretaceous, created a perfect storm, pushing the world's ecosystems past their breaking point. As the dust settled and the skies slowly cleared over months and years, the planet was a very different place. The mighty non-avian dinosaurs were gone, along with a host of other species, including large marine reptiles, flying pterosaurs, and many plants and invertebrates. In all, around 75% of Earth's species vanished, one of the greatest losses of life in the planet's history. Yet, not everything perished. Life, resilient and adaptable, found ways to survive. The creatures that managed to endure shared certain traits that gave them a crucial edge in this new, harsher world. Many were small in size, requiring less food and able to hide in burrows or crevices to escape the worst of the environmental upheaval. Mammals, for instance, were mostly nocturnal, with flexible diets and the ability to seek shelter underground. Birds, descendants of small feathered dinosaurs, could fly to safer areas and exploit new sources of food. Some reptiles, amphibians, and fish survived as well, able to wait out the chaos in protected microhabitats or adapt to new ecological niches. The survivors faced a world stripped of its former abundance, but with less competition and new opportunities. In the absence of dinosaurs, mammals, once small and obscure, began to diversify and evolve rapidly. Over millions of years, they gave rise to an astonishing array of forms, from tiny shrews to towering mammoths, and eventually to primates and humans. Birds, too, flourished, filling the skies with song and color, and becoming one of the most successful groups of animals on Earth. The extinction of the dinosaurs was not just an end, but a beginning. It marked the close of the Mesozoic era and the dawn of the Cenozoic, often called the Age of Mammals. The empty niches left by dinosaurs allowed new forms of life to emerge and experiment, setting the stage for the evolution of complex ecosystems and, ultimately, the rise of humanity. The evidence for this dramatic series of events is found in rocks and fossils all over the world. A thin layer of clay, rich in the rare element iridium, common in asteroids but rare on Earth, marks the boundary between the Cretaceous and Paleogene periods. This layer, found on every continent, is a silent witness to the devastation wrought by the impact. In the same layers, scientists see a sudden drop in pollen from flowering plants, a spike in fern spores that colonized the barren landscape, and a mass die-off of marine plankton. The fossil record tells a story of sudden disappearance and gradual recovery, a cycle of destruction and renewal etched into the bones of ancient creatures and the sediments beneath our feet. Today, the Chicxulub Crater lies buried beneath the jungles and waters of the Yucatan, its outline visible only through satellite images and geological surveys. The Deccan Traps remain as towering basalt plateaus in India, a testament to the volcanic forces that shaped the world. These scars remind us of the fragility of life and the power of natural forces to alter the course of evolution in an instant. The extinction of the dinosaurs also carries important lessons for our own time. It shows how interconnected life is and how changes, whether sudden or gradual, can ripple through ecosystems with profound consequences. It reminds us that, while some catastrophes come from beyond our control, the resilience and adaptability of life can lead to new beginnings. And it challenges us to protect the delicate balance of our own world, knowing that the legacy of the dinosaurs is part of the story of life that continues with us today. In summary, the disappearance of the dinosaurs was the result of a catastrophic asteroid impact, compounded by massive volcanic eruptions and ongoing environmental changes. These events triggered a mass extinction that ended the age of dinosaurs, but paved the way for the rise of mammals and, ultimately, humans. The story of their extinction is one of devastation, survival, and renewal, a powerful reminder of the ever-changing nature of life on Earth